The world is a global village.
And that's because information travels beyond boundaries.
And on This Morning on ITV,
we guarantee unbiased analysis on topical issues
that will educate you,
entertain you.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Every Sunday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television, This Morning on ITV, TMR. Join us.
The need to maintain a harmonious relationship between the presidency and the federal lawmakers, the National Assembly precisely, as the urgent crux of today's discussion on TMI and looking at Buhari and the Ninth Assembly. Discussing this very topic with me from my extreme left, I have the General Overseer of the Sword of Liberation Bible Church, an articulate and vibrant clergyman. He's known as Bishop Austin Igbasa. Many thanks for coming, Bishop.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, viewers.
And next I have a custodian of the law, being a legal practitioner, Williams Chima. Thank you for coming, Williams.
Thank you, Philip. Good morning, my audience.
Well, election has come and gone, except for the litigations that could be coming up in court. And Bishop Austin Igbasa, we've been following this trend, and we had the hiccups that led to the emergence of Bukola Saraki as the Senate President in the 8th Assembly. And we're having the 9th Assembly being inaugurated in June. And then the hula baloo that led to the issues of the 8th Assembly has been argued and criticized by the people that, well, this should change in terms of having a viral, vibrant, not docile 9th Assembly that could also help revamp the policies of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. What do you make of this? How do we change the narrative in this direction as it relates to relationship with Buhari and the 9th Assembly?
Yes, what I feel is that, number one, the 8th Assembly, the National Assembly ought not to be a drive-through. Oh, you want to buy KFC or McDonald's, you just drive through, just buy your stuff, you don't go into the restaurant. No, National Assembly or any assembly for that matter, state assembly, ought not to be a rubber stamp assembly. And I want to take your mind back that there was a time in this state here that we have a speaker of the House of Assembly, that even the governor, the sitting governor, have to do a lot of prayer before coming to stand before the speaker in the House of Assembly here. But for some time, we don't have such again. We have speakers who goes to government house and they even do some of their work in one of the parlor of the government house, and that is all. That is not how democracy is being designed. It's not designed that the president should control the National Assembly. It's not designed that the governor should control the House of Assembly. There are 3 arms of the government, and we only have 2 arms that are being voted. The other arm that is the oldest is the judiciary, that are not voted, but people right from the rank and file and gets to their level of operation, either as a judge or a magistrate and all the rest. So the issue of saying last assembly was contradictory to the government is not. They did their job, and that is the right thing. A National Assembly, or an assembly for that matter, legislature, not to be a signature or an appendix of the executive. They are separate entity and separate organ in democracy. So if people are talking about, oh, they were antagonizing the president, the other, they did their job, and that is their job. They are not just to be called over. In fact, in the real sense, they are the first arm of the government. The executive is the second arm. So the legislature, they are independent on their own. They should not be ruled by any governor or ruled by the president. So I refuse to pitch my tent with the issue of, oh, the 8th Assembly was antagonizing. Is it everything that is the mindset of the president that must be appended by the House? No.
Okay, you seem to suggest that there must be right to have a balance of good governance.
Yeah, that is it. That is what I'm saying.
But does it necessarily have to come to rife? Does it necessarily have to come to arguments where some policies that could have also helped in advancing the country have been stopped or
the
issue
is that let us not condemn the National Assembly. You're talking about, at times you see people talk about, oh, this is how much they collected. The people in the executive, have they been plain enough to tell us their exact salary and their emolument? Even those who told us their salary, do they tell us their emolument? Do they tell us their security votes? Even right from the president down. So let us not demonize the National Assembly. What I'm saying is that they are the first arm of the government, and the law does not state that they should be a footmat or a rug for the executive, and the executive should get it straight that it is not compulsory. Either you have a majority, the law and the constitution does not say the party that have majority should have principal officer. So if it is designed is as an in-house design of a party, this is how we want it. It should be on a very good or amicable resolution. It shouldn't be an order. I have seen people talk about, oh, party A has majority, party A must have everybody there. It is not a law. The legislature themselves, they are empowered to pick somebody among themselves from any party of their choice. The constitution does not say they should bow to the voice of their political party. Okay. It is an internal something for any political party to decide, and I think it should be something that the legislature should be called and be spoken to, not to be lauded over by anybody, either a chairman of a party or the president or a governor. Okay, I'll get there. Particular state.
I'll get there, but still with you, let's look at the aspect of the election results, where a majority of Nigerians chose the president for a second term, and that should also advance the reason that they seem to see the president as having the roadmap to advancing Nigeria's integrity that has to do with the economy and all of that. But don't you see that if the National Assembly tends to heat up the polity to a point where there are arguments and dragging between the presidency and the National Assembly, there could be issues that could also kind of slow the progress of the country?
Even if there is no argument between the National Assembly and the president, we who are electorate should start raising prayer points. There must be issue. It should not be a walk-through. It's not going to be a drive-through. Because number one, I give you an example of Electoral Act, where people from different parties, even the party in power, they stand down, people that are knowledgeable people that are appointed by their constituency, and these are not dropout people. People that are knowledgeable, there are barristers there are people who are educated, so many of them educated people, who sat down and said this is the way to chart our electoral reform. And at the end of the day, the team went back and forth, and only one person decided not to sign. And here we are back. We are going to have more litigation. Though it's a blessing, I have a learned friend here. It's going to be a blessing for them, because in my place they said, when pig get big blockers, it's a blessing to the busher. So what we have now, there is animosity. You talk about people choose their choice. Have we got into that place? Let us see what will come out of the tribunal. That is when you will be able to say Nigerians choose their leader. If you go back before this election, especially presidential election, you can see that many people are not satisfied. And if what was the outcome of the election was not the desire of the people. If you see, after the presidential election, where was the jubilation? Did you see the kind of jubilation we had in 2015? That you can go to market and somebody, you mention the president, announcer man will give you onion free and will give you carrot free. Do you see the same kind of jubilation? So it is after the tribunal that you'll be able to tell us that it is the wish of the people. It is the desire of the INEC for now, until when we get to tribunal and we're able to prove that it is Nigeria, the choice of Nigeria was what prevailed. Okay. We did research before the election.
Let's keep our topic focused on the Night Assembly. Back to you, Chima. Now, should there always be a rift between the presidency and the National Assembly to make things right?
Well, first, Philip, I will want to react to the word you used, docile assembly.
No. I didn't say docile. I said the assembly shouldn't be docile, but should be vibrant.
Yeah, so
I didn't make any reference to any assembly that was.
The term docility cannot be associated with the 8th assembly.
No, it cannot.
It cannot by all ramifications.
And nobody said that.
Yeah, let us be clear about that.
Yeah.
Now, on issue of, multi strife between the National Assembly and the presidency, the National Assembly is the only structure that shows that there is a democracy.
Okay.
Because in every other form of government, you know, there's always been a president, there will be governors, whatever name they are called, the judiciary will always be there. But except if it is a democracy, the National Assembly will be missing. And that is what distinguishes the democracy from any other form of government or governance structure.
Okay.
Okay, now, if that is the distinguishing factor, does it mean that the National Assembly is just created for the asking? The answer is no. Robust National Assembly will make sure that they scrutinize every single thing that comes from the executive. Don't forget, they are the only arm that provides oversight over the performance and the activities of the executive.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so how can they provide that oversight for good governance if they do not ask questions, if they do not query the activities of the executive?
But would that, but must that always lead to rife? That's the question.
Now, when it leads to rife, you see, we are all players in this country, and we know what has been happening, and we know exactly what led to the situation of the 8th Assembly, you know, when you talk about rife.
Yes.
Okay, now, see, once you get to the National Assembly, once you get to the presidency, you do no longer consider yourself as a party representative. You should consider yourself as the representative of Nigerians, of the entire geographical structure called Nigeria. You are representing them. Because as a lawmaker, you are making laws that will guide every single individual's activities in this country, not your party members, not your party leadership. Okay? So, the situation we had, or we have, because it's still not yet over, in the 8th Assembly is unfortunate. At best, that is how we can describe it. It's very, very unfortunate because people from both ends, both from the legislature and the executive, allowed political interest, partisan interest, you know, to come into play, to now decide, you know, how they view things.
Yeah.
Okay? Rather than looking at the holistic package, that what are we supposed to be doing for the good order governance of Nigeria. Okay? So in this, it is not only the National Assembly that, you know, probably had problems. The executive too had its own problems. Okay? If the National Assembly has enacted a law, for instance, passed a bill, and 20 bills comes to Mr. President, because perhaps those bills are not executive bills, Mr. President refuses assent. It speaks volumes. It's not healthy for this country. Let us call a spade a spade. Okay? And if the National Assembly too is bringing out a bill to emasculate the presidency, not to perform, that is equally not in the best interest of the country. But there must be a meeting point. Okay? You cannot say that all the bills prepared and presented by National Assembly, including your own party members, were all wrong. I mean, let's be honest to ourselves. Okay? And at the same time, the National Assembly will not expect, the way they do not expect themselves to be rubber stamped to the executive, they should not equally expect that whatever they bring out and give to Mr. President, he must accept. This is where, you know, the interaction between the executive and the legislation come to play.
Okay, Chima, you spoke about the fact that once a lawmaker elect has been given the permission by the people to walk in the floor of the House, they cease to become loyal to the party alone, but to the generality of Nigerians.
Of course.
But does that also take away the fact that the party in power should have a say in the leadership of the National Assembly?
Now, you see, the issue, as my brother pointed out, you know, it is not embedded in the Constitution who should produce. The Constitution says that the National Assembly shall elect from within their members their leaders. Okay? But in practice, and for cohesion, okay, you know, the custom has been established, and it is a global practice, that the party with the majority produces the leadership. Because if not, why do we have majority leader, minority leader?
Okay.
If we have majority leader, presupposes that there is a recognition that there will be a majority and there will be a minority. And if you have a majority leader coming from the party with majority of the number of members, and then you are having this president, Senate president, for instance, coming from a minority party, how can it work? There will be no cohesion. Okay? Because, yes, primarily, the first interest is to satisfy Nigerians. Because at the end of the day, you are coming back to them to seek for their mandate to represent them. You do not seek, you first seek your party mandate to bring you as their flag bearer, and then you go out. You can only be a legislator if Nigerians give you the mandate.
Does that stop your loyalty?
Does that stop your
loyalty to the party?
I am telling you now, this should show how loyalty should be structured. Your first loyalty should go to the electorate, the Nigerians. And then, of course, you owe allegiance
to your party.
Because it is on the manifesto of your party and the structure of your party and the logo of your party.
Okay, going by what you said, Bishop Austin Igbasa, and this question is thrown at you. Going by what he just said, there's this statement credited to the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshomole, even in the papers we read today, where he said that the leadership of the National Assembly will be pure APC, unadulterated. Do you have any problem with that?
Now, anybody can make any statement. Don't forget that the senators we are talking about and the members of House of Rep, they are not anybody's boy. They are not small children that you can just, oh, I'm a headmaster, let me just pass this across to them. Now, even that statement is a personal statement. He said it in the capacity of being a national chairman of APC. But me, I saw that statement as, that statement is too loaded to be passed across to people that are independently minded, not minding the party they came from. My problem is that the people we are talking about, they are grown-up adults. And you want to rule them as if you are talking to puppies in the class? That statement does not stop APC elected senator to have a secret meeting with PDP elected senator in the night. It does not stop them of meeting anywhere. It does not stop anybody in APC who is not from that geopolitical zone where they zoned Senate presidency. You can see even Tinubu's wife yesterday opened her mouth and said, I'm interested in deputy Senate presidency to represent women. Even when the husband said, you can't do that. The woman spoke out yesterday and said, that shows you that anybody can make statements in capacity. But to me, that statement is too harsh. Because the Constitution did not give the party chairman the power to choose who becomes principal officers. It is just a tradition, like what my learned brother said. It is just a tradition, and that tradition is not sacrosanct. It is not compulsory. That one does not stop anybody, like Danjuma Goje or other person. It does not stop them of competing. If that same law does not stop Tinubu's wife yesterday of bringing forth her desire for Senate, deputy Senate presidency, that shows you that that statement that is made is only made to cow some people to stop them. It does not stop anybody from having secret meeting or ambition. What I feel is that all this arrogancy or rude statements are not good for our polity. Number one, if you want the National Assembly to be totally your people, I think the people you need to talk to are the Senate-elect, the member of House of Rep, and you talk to them, you don't war, you jaw, you talk to them and say, ladies and gentlemen, see what we went through the other time, we want to have a smooth ride, and these are not coming to say unadulterated. Are you going to be there to vote?
But in summary, what we call that is lobbying. Now,
it's not lobbying.
Does it take it away from a party
you don't lobby,
a party chairman to lobby in the National Assembly?
You don't lobby
with arrogant word. You don't lobby with statement of command. You don't lobby with a military statement. You lobby. When we say lobby in America, you have people in law among the lawmakers who are lobbyists. They lobby for the government. Even when we are talking about the 8th Assembly, if the president decides to lobby them, all what we saw, we will have not seen it. It's not about being a lord. Democracy is about coming from your big position, come to the level of the people. What stopped the president of going to meet Saraki personally, not say come and meet me in the villa? There are people in this country who are in big position. They go and meet some people. There are governors in this country that goes to meet some elderly people at home at night and kneel down for them and say, help me out. We have seen it in the Bible. We see it in our own world. It's not democracy, it's not arrogancy. Democracy, lobby, the word lobby means say, I they beg you, I they take hand, rob you. I can't, my barrister is here now. I want to lobby him and I give him slap. Whoa. I say, follow me. We are going to my car. You must don't drive your car. You enter my car. You call that one lobby. It's not lobby, my brother. Let's use my car so that let's park your own. So I want two of us to talk together. I don't like that. Okay, I don't get AC. I will not tell. Don't worry now. AC is not even good for our head.
Producing intelligent reasons.
Yeah, I will not tell. AC is not good for our head. We are elderly people. Okay. We can't be using AC. It is not good for. So let's use this my own. We no get AC. I am lobbying him, and after lobbying him, when I give that reason of our head, he will join me. Not because he not get sense, but I've been able to convince him and lobby him. Lobby means say beg. Lobby is not military statement. It's a democratic statement. My brother, let us have a united house. No, we have to work with this, our elderly president. We need to surround him. We need to help him. We need to help his administration to work. This is the second time. This is the last time for him. Anything we do now will affect us tomorrow. That is lobby. Not it must be adulterated. The people you are calling APC that are elected, how many of them you know that it's not adulterated? Do you do DNA for them? Are they going to die in that your party that you call them unadulterated? Those statements are not lobby. For God's sake, the statement of lobby is a statement of humility, knowing that those people can decide not to obey you, even as a party leader. They can disobey you, and you cannot remove them as a legislator because they are already voted. They are not appointed. You must know that the people you are talking to are not ministers who are appointed, and you can use your power to fire them. In as well they have their certificate of return, they will stay for that 4 years except you kill them or sickness kill them. Now beyond that, you must always know how to bring them together and go to them, not always calling them to meet you. You can go and meet them. That is part of lobby. You go to their house individually and say, my brother, I know you people are right, but let's look at it this way. I tell you something, all these bills that are being returned back, we are the one losing. The electorate is the one losing. Because number one, money is put together to do public hearing. You know, all what is put together, even the senators that are sitting to discuss that matter that is being thrown back from the presidency, they are paid for the allowance sitting talking. And at the end of the day, we now throw what they talk away. Who is at loss? Is it same for us to pay people sitting there to discuss something, and at the end of the day, it gets to the table of one man, and the man turn it away?
Okay, but again, don't forget that there could be some technicalities that could be missing. Like what the president said.
If there is now,
like what Chima said,
no,
is not a must.
No,
that the president must give us.
What I'm saying, Philip, is that it is not a must that the president must sign everything that come, every junk that come from there should be thrown, should just be signed. Robert Stone president. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm also telling you that for a president that have majority of his people in the National Assembly, does it mean those people don't have a secret meeting with the president before a bill is being sent, that they will stand in the capacity of APC and discuss that bill, and the bill is against the interests of the president and their party? Is that what you are telling me? That it is when it gets to the peak, at what point does the president or their party is against that bill, that their own person stood in the National Assembly and contributed to it, and they were paid allowance for it? That is the question you will ask. Can an APC or a PDP member stood up in the House supporting a bill that his own party criticized? That shows you there is no synergy. If there is synergy, it is when the thing comes for the first reading, that is when the people will have pulled back and said, no, that bill must not see the light of the day. You people must not allow it to go through second reading. It's against our party, it's against our interest. That is how you do things, not wasting our money to pay allowance of people, and at the end of the day, it will come to your table, you not throw it away. Who is running loss? The taxpayer money, and the poor people, the masses is suffering it. Because you can't, if there's a synergy in a party, then the first reading, you kill the bill on arrival. You call your people, this is not in our interest. We as a party, we are against this one. You people do everything. Not after the third reading, and it is being prepared, sent to you, and it's being sent back for technicality. What are you talking? Are you telling me that the legislators are not reporting back to their party? They are not reporting back to the presidency to say, look at these things that is presented by an opposition party. What is your interest about this? Should we go ahead? Should we do this and that? If you have any problem with it, let us kill it now on arrival. Than spending time, spending Nigerian tax money, and at the end of the day, we bring it and say, what are you talking about technicality?
Okay, thank you. This actually looking at the 5 bills that the president refused assent, which includes the Digital Rights Freedom Bill 2018, the Film Commission Amendment Bill 2018, and several others, up to 5 bills. Now, before that, we also had issues where the president also turned down a bill on the Electoral Amendment Bill for 2018 prior to the elections. Now, does this mean well for Nigeria's advancement?
Well, you see, first is that there must be harmonious relationship between the 3 tiers of government. In that harmonious relationship, each must assert her independence. Now, as students of, government and politics, we know that, that independence is not totally exclusive. But when one arm begins to be overbearing on the other, it is not equally right.
Okay, in this case, which one is overbearing between the executive and the National Assembly?
Perhaps this may explain or answer the question my Reverend Bishop raised. Does it mean that there is no interaction, between the executive
and the National Assembly,
the legislator?
Okay.
Of course, it is not all bills that, the National Assembly leadership will go to their party and say this, or go to Mr. President. Then it becomes the rubber stamp that we are talking about.
If it always turned out to be that way.
Yes. If Mr. President or the party must say, do this before the National Assembly will do it, then it ceases to be, the right path to go. Now, the issue here for me is this. When we look at the bills that were refused assent by Mr. President, what were the content of those bills? There are some bills that Mr. President have refused assent. Even though some of my friends were not happy that Mr. President refused assent, I was happy and I expressed it that I gave Mr. President thumbs up.
Okay, but in this case, do you give thumbs up?
But there are some bills that Mr. President have refused assent that I don't understand.
Like these bills? Like these bills?
I cannot say like these bills because I have not gone through the content of these bills. I talk about the bills that I participated somehow in their making. Okay? So I know the content, I have them, and I know the reasons that Mr. President gave, for not assenting to them. And some of them I accepted his reasons because I had advanced similar reasons. Okay? In course of our looking at those bills. So the issue here is this. When something, tends to become a norm, it becomes questionable.
Like what Bishop Ibasan raised.
Yeah, so
the aspect where it has to go through the first and the second reading and the money is being expended.
It doesn't really matter.
Is that not a waste of time and resources?
Let's be clear about that. That is not material when it comes to legislation making.
Even if it's at the detriment of our common patrimony. Is that what you mean?
No. If the bill that are passed, because don't forget, the National Assembly is there to make their own impressions and make their own name. The executive is there to make its own impression and make its own name. Okay? Every arm have their own vision. And if what you think is the best for you does not align with my vision of what I think is the best, because I am answerable to the totality of Nigerian citizens, and the bill that you think is the best, I know that, yes, you can have this bill, but it will not work. Okay? If you have a law that cannot work, it is useless. You get me?
Okay, all right.
Now, in this
To me, I see it as a waste.
I will tell you this. Yes, in every aspect of our lives, there are things to be wasted to get better things.
And
Okay?
does it necessarily mean that
the point here is this.
Yes.
I am not justifying anybody's action, whether the executive or the legislator, because at the end of the day, you know, if everything must go one direction, then there is no need to have the 3 tiers.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Some
Okay.
analysts criticize this, that this could be the fact that the presidency or the president does not have confidence in the 8 assemblies leadership of Bukola Saraki. And so as a result of that, could see some of these bills as a bill in the wait to kind of put him in the trap. Do you think that could be the reason why all of this foot dragging
It's
are not assenting to bills?
It's one of the reasons. And I take your mind back to the electoral reform bill. And one of the things was that the adjustment of the date. Why was the president so keen about the date? And I tell you today, if that electoral law have stayed true and presidential election is done, maybe at the last, we will not have this result you have now, you will not have it. And one of the reasons why they rose up against that date immediately, you saw the uproar everywhere. You want to, that is to say, nobody will campaign for me. That is the meaning of it. That if you do the presidential election last, which means I will be irrelevant. I will not be the one to be begging state governors to begging them for loyalty. That is one of the reasons. And we cannot use our parochial mindset to rule over the entire nation of 180 million persons. I choose to differ from what my learned friend has said, that it should not be a norm. Why should we have a majority party that can call their people after the first reading? Ladies and gentlemen, this bill, you people have to kill it. Must we waste money on it and do public hearing and pay people allowance? And we say it doesn't matter, we should continue to waste that money. If that money is given to people to go into agriculture, it will better the lives of people. Then what is the need of having representation from each constituency? They are coming out to represent. The issue is that
if you have to take
what I'm saying is that
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you to react on that. But sir, I'll come back to you to react on that. But Bishop Austin Basan, you have the floor. I'll come back to you.
My learned brother. What I'm saying is that the synergy within a party, the essence of the party is a vehicle that carry an ambition of a man. If me, I'm standing now, I can't stand here now and be talking against Sword of Liberation Bible Church. It's not possible. Okay, but again, now what I'm saying is that if the bill is not in the interest of the president or the party, this, instead of making us to do this merry-go-round, why don't they call the people? The essence of having principal leaders. We have people who are okay. It is not Austin Igbasa. I'm not talking about. I'll come back to you, Chima. I'll come back to you, Chima. But Austin Igbasa, get it cleared, because these are issues that even the presidency is talking about as per the programs of President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, on the election result that was declared by INEC, it showed that majority of Nigerians chose the road that the president is showing. And so is it not needful that the National Assembly should work in tandem with that vision? Now, if the National Assembly seemingly bring up issues that may want to kind of trap the executive, not to be able to progress on his programs, wouldn't that be a setback? Don't you think that could be one of the reasons why the president is refusing assent? The question I'm saying is that, you see, in leadership, your real character, the person you are, your attitude determine the outcome. In my place, they said, it is how you greet me good morning that I'm also going to answer you. If you go, good morning, I say, yes, good morning, my brother, I will answer you the same way. If, see, that somebody is an elderly person does not say you are right. I had a meeting with my children yesterday, and I was teaching them about 1 Peter 5:5, where the Bible says, elderly one, be humble to the junior one. And I asked them, is it possible? One of them said, it's not possible. Their mother said, it's possible. When I want to send you something, I said, please, can you get me that thing? That please, I put before it.
Being polite.
I am humble to you. I show that you. Not bring that thing for me.
Okay, by that, are you saying that the executive should also toe that part? The president should toe that part?
They must toe that part. It is the two of them that are playing table tennis for themselves. You see, they said, Magu, come. They said, we don't want Magu. The man left Magu there. Against what today say we don't want that shows that all the people that are talking, could they be wrong? If they have their differences, but I think every leader must have a meeting point, like my brother said, where we come together and say, I'm coming to meet you. Look at what happened. Okay, Oni of Ife,
yes,
by tradition does not go to Alaafin of Oyo, but we have Oni of Ife, who is a young man. He went there. Even Alaafin himself was shocked to see him in the history of Yoruba.
Okay, thank you. Before I take it further,
Fayose went to greet Rauf. He said, I learned from these people. Yeah. Not saying that you can't be right. Even God in the Bible was advised by Moses. And Moses said, sir, if you kill them, you have power to kill them. But the people will say, we enslaved them, but we didn't kill them. They are God who does not have power to take them to the promised land, kill them on the road and waste them. And the Bible says God repented of his evil that he wanted to do. Almighty God repented by the advice of a mortal man. So what are we talking? Let us not castigate the National Assembly. The president himself and the presidency have their own error. The executive themselves have their own error. They saw that they want to be doing things at all time. Okay, that like legislature is like, come and sit down here. Do this thing I want you to do. There are ways you can send small children a message, and you will be polite with them, and they will do your bidding.
Okay, thank you. Before I take it further, Chima, react to this, ventilate your opinion as per what you have over what is said.
Well, the issue is simple. I, for one, will never subscribe to a rubber stamp anything.
Never. I would never also.
Okay? Now, but there is, in this discourse, I think I want to draw my brother's attention to a fact that existed in this 8th assembly that had not existed before. Perhaps that may put, you know, a little bit of direction to us understanding perhaps why things are happening the way they are. Now, some of the bills that came, like the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, you know, that tried to restructure the dates and the pattern of the elections. I subscribe to bottom-top electoral structure.
Okay, but which we didn't follow.
Bet.
All right.
Bet.
We didn't see the light of the day.
Bet. When it come and how it came is the question to raise.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now, because this is a National Assembly leadership that is supposed to be, you know, the party that is in majority.
They are on the same page.
That the party that is in government, but was it actually?
Okay, thank you, Chima. I think I cue you out from that. Thank you, Chima. As we round off, Bishop Austin Igbasa, in 1 minute, let's begin to look at how the 9th Assembly will work in tandem with the vision of the Nigerian people in order to bring it to its time of glory. Now, what do you make also of the statements credited to the PDP over claims of having access to the INEC server, and then issues of the APC attacking those claims and all that? Do you see that as robust for Nigerian democracy in this 2 questions? Yes. 1 minute.
What I say is that the National Assembly may have a repeat of Bukola Saraki era.
Yes.
I'm not a prophet of doom, but with the harsh tongue that is going around, oh, everybody must perform from this, we may have a repeat. Don't forget that those people in the National Assembly are not sleeping.
Okay, but how do we avert that?
How do we avert that is by the executive coming down to lobby the people, not lauding.
Okay.
Not lauding, but lobby.
Thank you. The next question.
Okay. The next question is that, you see, if you don't have any skeleton in your cupboard, even though if the INEC server is being hacked, if the party in power is clean and they have won expressly, as they said, Nigeria voted massively for them. If somebody say, I want to come and arrest you, you have all your television is stolen, and you have the receipt where you buy it at New Benin, tell the person that, well, bring police. When it is time, we will bring this thing out. What I feel is that the issue of INEC server, if there is no, PDP does not have power to hack the INEC server. Now, if they have access to it, praise the Lord. But APC, since they have won, and the people voted for them, and people love them, and people want the president to do, because everybody love him, they want him as the best clean person. Why, let the APC go and do and sleep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chima. You are the custodian of the law. The aspect of having access to INEC server, wouldn't that cause another legal issue?
It is a criminal act, because INEC server is not for everybody. Otherwise, how can we talk about the integrity of whatever comes out of it? If you hack into it, you're a criminal, because all hackers are considered as criminals, is it not?
Yeah.
So if PDP hacked into INEC server, then whoever gave them that, whoever hacked it should be arrested and should follow the due process of the law. It's not only pursuing Yahoo boys. What do? They hack. Okay.
But all of these are coming from issues about the genuinity of the election results.
Now, see, my
how do
brother,
we pan that out in terms of making some sanity in the process?
Illegality cannot cure illegality.
But today we have an acting FCC man that is acting anti-illegality, and it's not confirmed, and is doing it over the years. That one is not illegality.
Sorry, my brother.
And the man can arrest anybody who is corrupt.
You see, in this country, certain things make me laugh. It's okay.
Okay, you have less than 1 minute, Chima.
We are here shouting. Okay. The National Assembly, and if they note their powers, if they are not exercising it, who should they blame? If Mr. President commits an impeachable offense, there are items that are listed as impeachable offense.
Somebody did it. So, they slapped him in Benin.
Thank you, Chima. Thank you.
So if somebody did it,
thank you, Chima. Thank you, Chima. We must draw the curtains of the discussion.
The issue here is that look. In this country, people live in shifting responsibilities. People should take, should be responsible for their actions.
Okay, thank you, Chima. Thank you, Chima. Thank you, Bishop Austin. Yes. I think this is becoming very, very interesting, because we've done the elections, and we're looking at the Ninth Assembly, and that's why it's been like a drag trying to call my discussants to a final conclusion where we have to say, kiss this segment goodbye. Well, thank you, Bishop Austin Igbasa, once again.
Thank you,
Chima, thank you.
Thank you,
well, we're going to be having some other seasons of this topic, because looking at that, it becomes vital and imperative that we give this more flesh in terms of having the expectations of the people on the Ninth Assembly that will be inaugurated in June. But, well, shall we bring you the next segment, which is insurance? Don't you go away.